Thanks for clicking on Wayne.com for the season wrap.
You were about to say the
Zone.
week. No,
I was like week 16, but
that.
that doesn't really exist in high school football. It is the week after we saw East Noble and Eastbrook go down to state. Neither, unfortunately, came back with the blue ribbon, if you will.
Yeah, they get the red.
But still, pretty impressive season from East Noble. Let's talk about that 4A state title game first before we get into individual awards, Player of the Year, Coach of the Year, Team of the Year, all that good stuff. For East Noble, this is a team that came in averaging 36.1 points per game. They were held out of the end zone, just 3 points on a Joe Painter second quarter field goal. 21-3 loss to Evansville Memorial. What was the key, you think, in that one?
Well, Coach Amstutz said it after the game. It was the best pass defense that he's ever faced. And while East Noble was considerably bigger up front offensive line against that defensive line, that defensive front was immeasurably quicker and getting that first step and getting around the blockers and consistently getting to Bailey Parker and flustering him and flushing him out of the pocket, taking away the running game. You lose Justin Marcellus to an injury in the first half, and that kind of affected the game too. But, they used their linebackers to kind of mirror Bailey Parker, and their defensive backs were good enough in coverage to really limit the possibility of receptions downfield. So all that encompassing with a defensive plan that was really tremendous and effectively took away Bailey Parker.
Yeah, he was. There were designed runs, and then when they weren't designed runs, he was running for his life. And,
he was.
They really didn't end up with too many sacks, but you could see him going through his progressions as he was running, and by the time guys were covered, he'd get to the sideline and was like, I don't have anywhere to throw it.
Yeah, he was running out of room, right?
What do I do? Normally, if you wait a while and you make some moves and you buy yourself some time, somebody gets open. That didn't happen, and then he was like, oh my.
Oh crap. And meanwhile, guys were all over him. And he just got physically beat up.
I haven't seen a guy take that many. I'm like, every time he got hit, it was like 2 and 3 guys.
Yeah.
That one, I think it was in the third quarter where it almost looked like a face mask, but it wasn't because it was just a guy hitting him low, then a guy hitting him high. I mean, he took a physical beating. One I haven't seen the likes of in quite some time on the high school level.
Yeah, at least once was getting checked out by the trainers on the sidelines after a play. Needed helped up numerous times off the ground. I felt, in hindsight, maybe if East Noble had gone to a quick passing game, little 3-step drops or even no drop, 1 step, and do some quick passing to try to loosen that defense up. But somebody smarter out there than me is going to say why that wasn't a possibility. But East Noble tried to do what got them there for 4 quarters.
Right.
Unfortunately, the options were limited. So for Evansville Memorial to come in and hold a team that was averaging 36 a game without a touchdown, tremendous.
And I actually, I want to talk about the East Noble defense because the fourth quarter touchdown that they had where Combs was just running through guys, and that was just an individual effort where Hayden Jones had a lick on him and he just kept going and he got hit a couple more times. That was impressive. But really, they shut him out in the first half, played well defensively. They got a blocked punt in there and really, just gave up the 2 outside of that fourth quarter touchdown. They gave up 2 touchdowns in the third quarter, but one was on the 3-yard line after that interception after the first touchdown. So really, the defense did a nice job, especially when they weren't in terrible field position.
Yeah, and that's why you felt as the game went on that East Noble still had a shot, right? Because the defense was getting at least enough stops to give the offense an opportunity. And you felt in watching East Noble all season, eventually they're going to make a play here, right? I mean, they're going to find Hayden Jones deep or Bailey's going to run for a long touchdown. Something was going to happen in that game, but credit to Evansville Memorial, they did not slack on any play whatsoever. They knew that if you give East Noble an inch, they'll take a yard. They didn't give him an opportunity with that at all.
This is kind of a 2-part question. Obviously, East Noble is disappointed at this point. It's going to take a while for that sting to get over, but obviously should be proud of what they were able to do this season. What do you think their biggest takeaway for it is, and how does Luke Amstutz rally the troops? How does he get this team back to competing for a championship again next year? Because Bailey Parker was, by all accounts, one of the best players in Northeast Indiana this year. Hayden Jones is gone. They do have some young guys that can step up, but what do they take away? How do they build on to next season?
I think, hopefully by now, if the sting isn't completely gone, they're starting to see the silver lining. I mean, this was a team that had not won a sectional championship in 16 years, not since 2003. It was the last time they were at the state finals. to get that off their back, that monkey off their back, and being able to look. We've been successful so long in the Northeast 8, before that the NHC, in terms of quality program. But just, man, postseason, we just kept hitting up against that wall. Now you've broken through that wall. You made a deep run. You get to Indianapolis. You don't get the big trophy. But, man, the bar has been risen for this program. But they leave an enormous hole there at the quarterback position with Bailey Parker.
All right, let's move